In this screencast, I will demonstrate how the EMC YAML driver can be used to query and modify YAML documents using EOL. Here we have an employee's YAML document and a script EOL file that will be used to query the employee's YAML document. First of all, you have to create a run configuration for EOL programs. You have to set the source, which is the EOL script. Then you have to go to the Models tab and add a new model and select the type of model. In this case, you have to select YAML document. You must set the identifier for the YAML document. In this case, I will call it YAML doc. And you must select the YAML document, which is employees YAML. Then I will click on OK, apply and run. First of all, when querying YAML documents, you may be interested in accessing all nodes. In YAML, there are three types of nodes. There are scalar nodes like employees, there are mapping nodes like address, and there are list nodes like industry. But you may be interested in accessing all nodes regardless of their type. For that, you can use the keyword node followed by the property all, and I will print them out. So right now, the output contains all nodes from the YAML document, but you can also specify a specific kind of node, like scalar node, or list node, or mapping node. Now, when I execute this, it will display only the list nodes, which is industry and skills. Industry and skills. But this is not really the common use case. Most of the times you would be interested in the querying nodes with a specific name. And for that, you have to first use a prefix that specifies the node type. You must always specify what kind of node you are looking for. So if you're querying a scalar node, you have to use the S prefix followed by an underscore. For mapping nodes, you have to use M followed by an underscore. And for list nodes, L followed by an underscore. I will try to extract the role scalar nodes, and for that I have to type S underscore and followed by the node name, role, all of them, and I will print them out. So now the output should contain two role nodes. Maybe you would like to extract only the first one, and in that case you can use the function first. Now I will search for a list node. Similarly, you have to use a prefix, in this case L underscore, followed by the node name, which is industry, all of them, print line. And now I will query a mapping node. So the prefix is M underscore. I will try to extract this mapping node, address. So I have to enter the name address, followed by all, the first one, and I will print it out. As you can see in the output, these nodes have two parts, a key and a value. The key represents the name of the node, and the value is the value of the node. And as you can see in the address mapping node, it contains other nodes, specifically other scalar nodes. And you may be interested in extracting scalar nodes from mapping nodes, or extracting nodes from within other nodes. To demonstrate that, I will first use a variable that will hold this address mapping node, so var address, which is equal to the first address mapping node. And using this address variable, which holds this address mapping node, I can now query for other nodes. And I would like to extract the country scalar node. Since it's a scalar node, I have to use the S prefix. And there is one additional prefix in this case. You either have to specify if you're extracting a sequence or a collection of nodes or a single node. In this case, it's a single node, so I have to use the prefix E underscore and the name of the node. And I will print it out. But you could also use the other prefix to extract it as a collection or sequence. So I use C, which stands for collection, to extract the same node in a sequence. As you can see, right now we have in the output a node which has a key and a value. But maybe you are interested in extracting only the value of the node, not the whole node which contains a key and a value. For that, I will query the scalar node employee ID. So as underscore for scalar, the name of the node employee ID. Then I will get all of them in the first one. And to get the value, you have to use the value property. And I will print it out. And this is the value of the employee ID node. But this is the default value, but you could also convert it to a different type. For example, maybe you would want to convert it to an integer. In that case, you would use the prefix I and an underscore in front of value. But maybe you want to use a different type, like a double. D stands for double. You could use other types like F for float, B for boolean, and S for strings. Now you know how to get a value, but you could also set the value of a node, so you could change the value of a node. For that, again, you have to use the value property followed by an assignment operator and the new value. Now the value of the employee ID node has been changed to 000. And one more thing that is common in querying YAML documents is creating nodes. First of all, I will create a scalar node. So I will use a variable called city node. And to create a node, you have to use the new keyword followed by the type of node. It's either a scalar node, mapping node, or list node. In this case, it's a scalar node. And a scalar node has two properties, the key and the value, or the name and the value. The name of the node is city, the value is Boston. And I will create also a mapping node. New, then the type of the node, which is a mapping node. And it takes only one parameter, which is the name of the mapping node, address. There is one error on this line. I didn't have a comma, right? Now it's fixed. And I will print the address node, which is right now an empty mapping node. Right? But you could also add scalar nodes into mapping nodes. And for that, you must use the append node function. So the mapping node followed by the append node function. and the parameter is the scalar node, or the node that I would like to append to the mapping node, which is city node. You have to append it to the value of the node, not to the node itself, to the value. And as you can see, the new scalar node has been added to the new mapping address node.